Hi guys, Ashley from Ash Cash Budget here, bringing you a video all about my Christmas cookies that I made for gifts. I'm going to tell you the prices of the stuff that I bought and how much it comes out to be for how many gifts I gave out. I did buy a lot of this stuff on sale, so back in November before Thanksgiving rolled around, stuff for baking started to go on sale and I started picking up the best prices that I could. So I got a lot of this stuff on super sale, and there's a couple things that I already have in my cabinet that I'm not going to count. So when I'm calculating how much these gifts cost, I'm calculating the whole price of the whole package in. Because I didn't have flour before, because I didn't really need it for stuff. I don't do much home baking like that all the time, or like home cooking where we use flour. So I had to buy the whole package. So the whole package is included in the cost. Even if I have leftovers, some of the stuff, like I bought Crisco, I have a bunch left over, but since it was I needed to buy it, I'm including it in the cost. So I'm not breaking it down like, here's how many servings are in this Crisco, and I use this many servings, so I only use this much cents. So really, it's going to be a lot cheaper per price. It's just since I had to buy these items, this is what the cost really is. But overall, if I broke it down per I used a cup of this for this recipe, it's going to be much cheaper because I only used a fraction of the package. But for instance, the flour, I did use most of it. I had a 5-pound bag and I used about 13 cups. It was a little less than 13 cups for all 5 recipes that I did. So I used up most of that. But it was only 99 cents on sale for that medium-sized 5-pound bag of flour. Baking powder, I didn't have it. It was an 8-ounce canister. It was $1.99. I only used 2 teaspoons. So I still have a lot left. 2 teaspoons out of the whole thing is only a fraction of how much is in that 8-ounce canister. So I still have a bunch that I could use. But we're including $1.99 in the price here. Baking soda was $1 on sale. I used 4.5 teaspoons, but again, I still have a bunch of that left to use. Sugar was a 4-pound bag. I did use a lot of that because I used that for this, and I also used a bunch for the pumpkin pies I made during Thanksgiving. I used 5¼ cups this time around for the 5 cookies that I made, and that was 99 cents. Brown sugar, 32-ounce package, I bought at the time for $2.50. It wasn't the best price, but that's what I paid. I used up 2 3/4 cup, so I actually still have a little bit left, but not very much. Powdered sugar was actually only used for the glaze, but I had powdered sugar for other items and just for around the house. But I needed to buy that, and I bought it for $1.25. It was a 16-ounce package, so I still have powdered sugar to use. Butter was one of the biggest expenses. I used 2 1/4 cups plus 1 tablespoon for the glaze for one of the cookies. So I'm going to include it as 3 packages because they were each a cup packages. They were the sticks of butter, and each package had I think they were 1 cup boxes. You know what, I might be wrong because I think each package has 2 cups in it. Yeah, they have 2 cups because they have 4 sticks and each stick is a 1/2 cup. So I actually only used 2. So I'm going to recalculate that real quick. Anyways, $1.99 times 2, because they were $1.99 each on sale, it's $3.98. Crisco was another big expense. 48 ounces, one of the like bigger canisters. It was 2 1/4 cup as well, and it was $5.58. And this is because I decided to go with some tips that said to use half shortening and half butter, and it wouldn't spread out, the cookies wouldn't spread out too thin, like they would keep their shape a little bit better. Like they're going to spread out, of course, but they're not going to like melt and spread thin. And I actually think it worked really well. So I did the half and half, but I still have a bunch of Crisco like a bunch of Crisco left because that was a big package. So I really only used a fraction of it, but I'm going to include the whole cost because I bought it for this baking and I didn't even get it on sale or anything. It was $5.58. Eggs, I'm going to count it as a whole dozen, and I could usually get it maybe at 99 cents a dozen. I rotate my eggs around. I could have gotten this one for 77 cents a dozen. I could have gotten it one time. I got, you know, the dozen for free that I showed you guys in one of my haul videos. But I'm going to count it as 99 cents. And I used 8 eggs out of the dozen. I used only 8 eggs for all 5 recipes. Baking chips, I used 2 different kinds. I used a white macadamia. That's the cookie I made, was the white macadamia. So I got the white chocolate chips for that. And then I used a semi-sweet chocolate chip. And I got those on sale for $1.88 per package. So I spent $3.76 on the baking chips. Now the macadamia nuts, I used the whole package. In that recipe, it was 1.5 cups inside of the package. And it was $5.76. So that was a pretty expensive add-in, which makes that specific cookie probably more expensive than the others. But I'm splitting all these costs around the whole thing just to make it a little simple this time. But I'm sure comparatively, those are more expensive to make than the other 4 cookies that I made. The peanut butter, I got one of the little 1 pound, like 16 point something ounces of peanut butter. I think it's Skippy maybe, for $1. I found it on sale for $1 a few months back just because I like to get peanut butter at that price. So I had that. And I used a cup of it, which means I still have some of that container. And pure pumpkin, the can of pumpkin that I used, I had gotten on sale for $1.67 as well, and I only used a cup of that. So I was able to use the rest of the can, and I made this cream cheese spread that I found and really liked from Thanksgiving time. So I did use up the rest of that can, but the can was $1.67. Salt's pretty much free, because I have a huge container and I've been working on it for a very, very long time. So I did not have to go out and buy that at all. Vanilla can be pretty pricey. Yeah. My mom, though, thank goodness she gave me some of theirs, and it was out of a big container. So she just poured it into a smaller container. We measured out about how much I would need and then a little bit more in case of spillage or anything. And she let me have that. So it was free. I see that, and I don't know, let me know what you think of imitation versus like the real vanilla. I'm not sure exactly the difference, but imitation vanilla, you could get one for $1, but when you go to the real vanilla extract, it's like $5 for the store brand. You could go to up to like $9 for the like McCormick brand, and it gets pretty pricey. And I used 5.5 teaspoons of that, and those things are just like, those prices are just for like the little ones, by the way, like the $5, $9, like they're small ones. I did use 3 tablespoons of milk, but I'm counting that as free because I would have milk in the house no matter what, and 3 tablespoons is nothing. That's not even a quarter of a cup. And then I did make a couple other things. I am going to make, so for Christmas Eve every year for the past few years, we've been doing the Nutcracker tour, and they come through and they're here on Christmas Eve. So I go ahead, and for the past couple years I've been buying like the pull and bake, like you tear it apart and bake it, the pre-packaged cookies. And I used to get a sugar cookie with the little design and a chocolate chip, and I would just pull it apart and bake it because it was halfly homemade, you know, I would bake it at least. And so that was kind of what I started to do, and I would bring it on Christmas Eve while we were working so that we could have little Christmas cookies. And this year I decided I would be making the homemade cookies, of course, but I still did get one of these because of the little design. I just love the little design, it's cute. I got this for $2.50, so I will be making this in another day or two. There's only 2 dozen in there, but that's going to be specifically for that. But I'm also going to be taking some of my homemade ones with me. So that was $2.50. That's going to be included in this cost. And then I wanted to make chocolate covered pretzels. So I got the chocolate flavored candy coating. It comes and they almost look like giant ice cubes, so you could like pop them out of there and like heat it up for the dipping. I only used half of the package so far, and the package was on sale for $2.50. Now the pretzels, my mom gave me as well. It was an unopened bag that she still had that she bought, and I did price it out at Walmart. It would only be $2.48, and I could probably still get a whole nother batch out of this bag, even with broken ones, because I used probably about a third of the bag, and there's a bunch of, there's always going to be broken ones, so if you want the perfectly, but I should be able to get a whole nother batch with that, plus the other half of the candy coating, if I wanted to. I don't know if I'm going to or not. It does take a lot of time, but it is super easy. It just takes some time to get them coated and, get it, shake it off a little bit before you put it on the parchment paper. But it is super cheap. So if you had to get the bag of pretzels and the chocolate dip, it'd be $5. And you can make chocolate covered pretzels for $5. And I got 95 out of that first batch. So you could get nearly 200 chocolate covered pretzels for $5 and package them up in like little things of like 10 or 20 for your friends. I think that's a great little gift, and super affordable. So I did that. Like I said, I got about 95, and I've been putting them in like these little snack size pouches of 10 each, and they're just super cute. So that was easy. They taste pretty good and super affordable. So that's something else I'm doing on top of that. So this is all included in the price. So I spent out of my grocery money, because I pick these up with my groceries every week. Whenever I would see the sales, I'd get it with my groceries. So this part came out of the grocery money. $38.45. That's how much I spent to make 5 different types of cookies. And these cookies, I ended up with a bunch of, I'll tell you how many. And then I decided to get some Dollar Tree packaging for some of the bigger stuff. So I did spend about $10 there. It was a little less. I'm just rounding way up for the tax and adding on another like $1 just to be sure. So I did get some packaging for $10, which brings me up to $48.45. Now I'm gonna get at least 15 individual gifts out of this, plus some communal gifts. I sent some to my boyfriend's work. I'm gonna take some to the Nutcracker, like I said. So if you just look at it at the individual gifts, 15, $3.23. Now some people are gonna get bigger gifts, some people are gonna get smaller gifts, some people get, part of the communal tray. So really it's gonna touch a lot more people than 15 people. But at 15, if you break it down to just 15, it'd be $3.23. So that definitely, it would be cheaper if we broke it down how much it costs for like the little amount of Crisco I used, or the little amount of this or that, instead of like including the whole packaging. But since it was stuff that I had to actually buy, I'm saying $48.45. So $50 for all of this homemade stuff. Let me show you the packaging first. So I got this from the Dollar Tree. It's a nice big container. I just got like 2 of these. So those are a couple of the bigger gifts. Now for the medium-sized gifts, they have these adorable tins that I got. So all this stuff, yep, $1. So I got like 4 of these for some medium-sized gifts. And then for some other small, medium-ish gifts, I got these. So these little buckets here with a little handle, these actually come with 2 in the package. So you get 2 for $1. So these are just 50 cents each, which is awesome. So I got 2 packages of these, and I got 1 snowman and 1 penguin. And then I got these little cellophane treat bags as well. I've used some of them to separate the different cookies in some of the bigger and medium-sized gifts. But I could also just stick a few cookies in here and just serve the gift just as this. And it came with 25 of these little bags for $1. So that's really good. That comes out to about 4 cents each, I think. 25 in here. And then my mom also got me this as an early Christmas gift. I used some at the market for the stuff that I sold this last weekend. But I'm not going to go back, so I might use some of these for some of the little gifts too. And this was at Hobby Lobby, 50% off. So I think it was just $1 for 24 of these as well. Now, how about I start with the chocolate covered pretzels. I don't know if you can see these very well, but this is the chocolate covered pretzels. These are just a few of them. So that was really super easy and cheap. If you're looking for a cheap idea, $5 can make you like almost 200 of those, and then just get some little baggies. So I made sugar cookies. Just regular plain sugar cookies. Some of these are unfortunately broken and I am running out of them because the sugar cookies, let me look at this here. The sugar cookies, I only made 40 of the sugar cookies. That's all that it yielded me. And I used just like little green and red sugar crystals to press it down to give it a little festive look. So those are good. They're delicious, but I might have to make another batch, or maybe I'll just forego it. We'll see. Peanut butter cookies. I only made 41 of these because I made them way too big. I don't know how well you can see that, but I made the balls way too gigantic and they spread out like heck, and they're huge. I probably could have gotten almost 50 if I made the balls a little bit smaller, maybe 60. I think I should have made 60, but I made them way too big. So I do have some of those left to still spread out. The macadamia nut cookies, I really think this would be the most expensive out of all of them, but they did turn out really good. I still have about half the bag. All of these things filled at least these giant bags, plus a little bit more. Some of them took up a little bit more space than just the giant bag, and I had to actually use another sandwich bag for the rest of them. But the macadamia nuts, I think I ended up with 46 of the macadamia nuts, so I still have almost half the bag there. This actually took up the whole bag and then some. So there's the macadamia nuts with white chocolate chips in them. Ooh, and then the chocolate chips. I still have a bunch of these because I made 55 with just the one recipe on the back of the chocolate chip, the semi-sweet chocolate chips, morsels, whatever you want to call them. I used the recipe on the back of there. I made 55 cookies out of just that one bag of chocolate chips, and they were amazing out of the oven. You have to always try your cookies. Always. Preferably warm. You got to make sure they're good. And then my favorite, I kind of made this because I really wanted it. I'm only going to give it to select people just because I don't want them to get too smashed in transit and stuff like that. They're a very soft cookie. If you've ever had something like, I think it's molasses cookies or the soft type of gingerbread, it's like that, but I used pumpkin. And I made the glaze for it, and these are just amazing. They're heaven, and they taste delicious, and I'm very glad I decided to make them. This was just something that I went out of my way and found a recipe for because I really liked them. Now, I'm going to try to remember. Let me know if I forget. I'll try to link the recipes that I used down below that I used for. I got the pumpkin cookies online. I got the peanut butter cookies online. And I think I got the sugar cookies online. So I'll try to link different ones down below. And for the white chocolate chip macadamia nut, I actually got that recipe off of the macadamia nut package. It was like the well-known brand for macadamia nuts. I forget what it's called. It starts with an M. But it had the recipe on the back there. And the chocolate chips I used for the recipe off the Nestle Toll House bag. And it's delicious. So definitely works. And let me know what you guys, if you guys make anything homemade or anything, bake anything, cook anything for your Christmas or holiday gifts. I'd like to hear from you guys.